Kitua. I'd like to begin by acknowledging that lovely welcome from Ngāi Tahu this morning. We feel especially blessed to be here for our first in-person conference since 2019 here in Ōtautahi, Christchurch. This year marks, as Julian said, a remarkable 30 years since the first New Zealand International Education Conference was held at the venerable Wellington Airport Hotel in 1991. There's so much to celebrate as we look back on the endeavours and achievements of the past 30 years, but I hope that in the next 2 days we'll also find that there is a lot to be hopeful about and optimistic about for the coming 30 years for our sector. Our theme for the conference is Te Ara Kitua, the pathway forward. And much of what I want to talk about this morning lies in the origin of that conference theme. So if you will bear with me, I just want to talk about the whakapapa of this phrase a little bit. And as well as the whakatauki that Julian shared, the inspiration for the name came from another whakatauki which is attributed to Rangi Mete Kingi, and it says, Ko te pai tāwhiti whaia ki a tata, ko te pai tata whakamaua ki a tina. Seek the distant horizons and cherish those you attain. So the phrase Kitua is aspirational. It encourages us to seek a place beyond what we know now, to reach our pai tawhiti, our distant horizons. For me, as a student of English literature some time ago, reflecting on this whakatauki called to mind the Tennyson poem about the great adventurer Ulysses, in which he urges his comrades on to new adventures, saying, all experience is an archway through gleams that untravelled world, whose margin fades forever and forever when I move. So this conference then propels us forward to a different time and space, urging us to seek new solutions as we recover from the pandemic and face the new challenges that our times present and meet the needs of future generations. It challenges us to not just look to the past, but to be better ancestors for the future. And this is a path that we can forge together, and this conference provides us with an opportunity to do just that. So I hope you'll be inspired in the course of the next 2 days to find your own pai tawhiti, your distant horizon. For myself, as the new Chair of Education New Zealand Mana Pou ki te Ao, I'm optimistic about the future of this sector and the contribution it can make to all of the people in Aotearoa and beyond. In part, I draw my optimism from our diversity, which is reflected here in this room before me. From our schools, more than 470 which are already involved in teaching international students, to Te Pūkenga, which is now one of the largest tertiary institutions in the world, to our universities with their extensive international engagement and their long-term commitment to international education. From our private training establishments, which provide focused and specialised learning experiences, to our English language schools, which as well as delivering language training for international students also open up other pathways for learning. From our education products and services organisations, which are helping to diversify our sector's offerings, to our wānanga, including Te Whare Wānanga or Awanuiarangi, which is currently developing a postgraduate program with Indigenous communities in the United States. Many of these subsectors have peak bodies that play an important role in supporting and advocating for their members, and I acknowledge and welcome representatives of all of these sectors and subsectors and peak bodies who are here today. We are stronger because of our diversity. Our strength also lies in our ability to adapt. In early 2020, our world changed forever, and it's sort of a cliche now, but it is so true, and we mustn't forget that. And in the 3.5 years since, we have all had to, time and time again, prove our ability to adapt and persist. It's hard to believe it's only been a year since New Zealand's borders fully reopened, and the world did not return to the old normal when that happened. Whether we like it or not, we need to adapt, and that need has not gone away. The changes in our country and the world continue around us. As Tennyson said, the margins fade forever and forever when we move. So I want to acknowledge the work that everyone in this room has done in recent years to adapt and to acknowledge the fact that you continue to adapt to meet these new challenges. Just being here today is testimony to your commitment to ongoing change. So I'm optimistic not because everything will now return to the new normal, to the old normal, but because I know that together we'll find ways to find a new approach that's right for the times that we are in. Education New Zealand Mana Pou ki te Ao has also been challenged to adapt, and like you, we have needed to refocus. we are acutely aware of the need to balance the pressing needs of today with preparedness for the future, and in doing so in a resource-constrained context. We have the refreshed international education strategy to guide us, and the board has recently confirmed an approach for the coming 12 months that concentrates on focus area 1 of that strategy. And I have a copy with me if anyone wants to have a look. So that focus area 1 is about helping providers of international education build back their bases through inbound student mobility growth. So our focus right now is very much on building momentum for the beginning of the academic and school year in 2024. We are also beginning work on a new strategy for the future 5 years beyond that. And although in that context we're prioritising our resources and targeting our efforts, we haven't lost sight of the need to build long-term resilience and stability consistent with focus area 2 of the strategy. Some of you will be aware of the visit we hosted earlier this month with Professor Bean and of the work we've recently been doing through the CRIF funding to explore the diversification of products and services and modes of delivery. I'd also like to mention in this context our focus on honouring and giving effect to Te Tiriti o Waitangi. This is an obligation, yes, but also a massive opportunity for our organisation, for our sector and for Aotearoa New Zealand, and it's one which our board and our organisation takes very seriously. We're also looking forward to working alongside Ōtautahi Christchurch to bring the NZIEC Australia New Zealand Agent Conference to Christchurch in April next year. This conference will bring the Australia and New Zealand education sectors together with education agents from around the world. And as you'd expect, we'll continue to work with our New Zealand and partner agencies to find ways to help the sector rebuild.